Senator Knox, are you ready?
I'm ready. I can hear you. I am on my way, so I will show up. But
oh, okay, even better.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, but I'll start on Zoom.
You're fine. You're fine. Okay. All right. We will commence the subcommittee for Senate Study Bill 3159. This is a bill that, for lack of, just to summarize it, updates our regulations on Iowa hemp products. I will save a lot of my comments towards the end, but I do want to, I've seen some emails, I've had some commentary around here. Before I have the department give their explanation of the bill, I'll let them do more of a in-depth explanation. I want to say this high level up front, right? When we passed our hemp laws back in 18 and 19, I can speak for a vast majority of the legislature that thought that we were legalizing rope, oils, creams, things along those lines. No one had in their right mind that we would be infusing THC into a bunch of consumable products that go well above and beyond the 0.3 specified by law, nor did we think that we were going to be having minors purchasing these products as it's going on right now. So when we ask why are we here today for this subcommittee, the reason why we are here is because we have minors consuming these products and using these products, and we have THC levels going well above and beyond of what we thought up front a few years ago. So like with any regulation, when we find there's holes in it, we come back. I want to give DPS credit for actually bringing the bill forward here. It's something that we have all seen across the state, people have questions on, and now we're trying to get this law back to the spirit of what we thought up front, which was to diversify farming products by producing non-marijuana or products that had CBD value, but not THC, which is what we're finding now today. So that is the reason why we're here today. That was a little bit longer opening comments, but I want to kind of set that frame up front. Got a variety of emails saying, why are we here? There's not a problem. And I'm telling you folks, there is a problem, which is why we had the bill before us today. So without further ado, Senator Zaun, any opening comments? No. Senator Knox, any opening comments?
No.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll have DPS start off up front, give an explanation of the bill, and then we'll go around the room, who you are, who you're with, how you register on the bill, and any comments towards the bill. So without further ado, you have to come here speaking to speaker. Sorry.
Josie Wagler, Department of Public Safety. I won't reiterate a ton of what you already said, but to your point, in 2019, Iowa passed the Iowa Hemp Act in accordance with the 2018 Farm Bill, with the intent of regulating non-intoxicating hemp products. And since then, we've seen a high emergence of high potency THC products hit the market. And with our friends at HHS, I think we identified that the age restriction and also just HHS's limited inspection and regulatory authority that they have now. So just trying to give them a little bit more authority to seize and regulate illegal products and also law enforcement as well. So I think that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. I'll let you start over here. Again, just pass this around. Any comments you have? Okay, I just think keep your comments you can find no less than 3 minutes. That's what you do to have time for people online.
Yeah, my name is Rocky Laware. I am a partner in a company that manufactures rolling papers. They do not contain any CBD or THC or anything like that. But with that said, I'd like to read a statement to you. SSB 3159 is written may unintentionally have detrimental consequences to the state and its businesses. Smoking papers and wrappers such as OCB, zigzag, twisted hemp, and others made from hemp fiber are long held federally legal products which have been lawfully sold in Iowa in the past. Since hemp fiber does not contain any THC, CBD, or any other intoxicating substance, ingestion of smoke from these products cannot result in a biotransformative process to the human body. 3159 in prior legislation contemplates prohibiting smoking products made from the flower of the hemp plant, not the benign fiber from hemp stems. An ambiguity exists in Iowa 3159 in Chapter 204.14A, while Chapter 204.14A prohibits harvested hemp or hemp products intended for inhalation. 3159 makes it clear in Section 204.12 proposed language that it is a raw or dried flower form of the hemp product that is intended to be prohibited. Unfortunately, the state's administration believes that 204.1A currently prohibits hemp fiber wrappers, resulting in the loss of significant tax dollars for state coffers. Accordingly, exception must be made for rolling papers and wrappers made from hemp fiber to avoid the unintended consequences of prohibiting non-intoxicating hemp fiber wrappers. We respectfully request that the committee amend 3159 to include the language, hemp fiber rolling papers and wraps produced from the stem and stalk of the hemp plant are excluded from the definition of hemp and consumable hemp products and are legal to sell in Iowa. Such language will address the current ambiguity in the regulation, allow Iowa to continue to collect tax dollars for the sale of this product, and allow businesses to sell and consumers to purchase a product that is federally legal and legal in most other states. I thank you for your consideration, and if you have any questions, I would attempt to answer.
Good afternoon. I hope you won't mind if I stand. I prefer to stand a little bit. My voice hopefully does carry. I do have a somewhat of a consolidation page here for you. I do appreciate that. Sure. My name is Rick Wagaman. I am the owner of HWCBD, an advocate and master's degree student in medical cannabis science therapeutics at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. In 2018, the federal government recognized the diverse properties of consumable hemp, finding it to have low potential for dependence and, more importantly, express a variety of health benefits. At the time, Congress amended the Farm Bill to allow for the sale, consumption of hemp-derived products. Iowa followed suit in 2020 with the consumable hemp law, creating a thriving industry. Over 1,000 retailers, employing some 2,500 citizens, and Forbes reports that 60% of the population is currently using hemp-based products for their wellness needs. In our store alone, we're a small independent store. We've provided over 4,000 products and customers and helped them as a small percentage of the estimated 1.8 million consumers and constituents who currently use our product. These folks take products with and without hemp-derived THC to help with pain, sleep, anxiety, PTSD, MS, epilepsy, and ADHD, just to name a few. Today, we are considering a bill that would disrupt this progress. I'd like to outline the challenges and opportunities it presents. Challenges: regulatory potency. Enacting strict regulation on potency, asserting and container guidelines to demand a regulation program. Currently, products in our store adhere to federal and law. In over 35 states with recreational programs, restrictions that would included in the state Senate study bill 3159 will push consumers online, which continue to get the products they need, regardless of buying it locally, getting it across the border, or just having it delivered to the doorstep. Reducing the availability of this legal product in Iowa will encourage Iowans to push for a recreation program much sooner. Opportunity: age restriction. Currently in Iowa lacks an age restriction for purchasing hemp-derived products. We support the inclusion of this provision in the bill, aligning with our current store policy on requiring to be 21 for purchases, which we do. However, concerns arise regarding criminalizing parents providing products for their children. Many physicians here in Iowa recommend our hemp-derived products to parents with children who suffer from life's most challenging illnesses. Rather than adding penalties, we propose just enforcing the existing laws. It's crucial to remember that we're dealing with a Schedule III, legal with medical benefits, not a Schedule I drug. Just enforcing current laws and implementing an age restriction can address your concerns, our concerns, without regressing. In conclusion, I urge you to consider the long-term impact of Senate Study Bill 3159. We have Iowans in all walks of life that support this. With that said, enforcing the existing laws, implementing reasonable age restrictions, fostering responsible regulation can ensure Iowa patients, your constituents, that they will continue to have access to the legal products here in Iowa. We look forward to working with you to make the improvements on the bill while accomplishing your goal of eliminating the bad actors and the illegal products. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
My name is Earl Ramey. I'm from Iris Isle, FSA farm number 1276. And I am a medical cannabis patient. I'm on the program. I've been here since MedFarm. And there are quality products available on the consumable side that are natural, that others prefer, and that are not enhanced. There are approximately 137 licensed consumable hemp manufacturers, and only 23 of those are Iowa people that have an address that's Iowa, not outside of state. So one thing we're dealing here with is also commerce coming in. You're not going to stop that. This bill affects farmers, primary care, general public, and Iowa medical cannabidiol patients. It's November 27th, 23, Iowa Legislative Services received a letter from Iowa Department of Public Safety wanting to regulate consumable hemp, not hemp cultivation through IDOLs or hemp producers on the agricultural side, nor medical side, but the consumable hemp side. 1 year prior, 2018-2022, the crime lab made statements in Iowa's medical cannabis meeting by Mike McClevey and Kelly Flanagan when asked, how do they test consumable hemp? We do not test these products, oils, gummies, vapes, fat, solids. They don't test them. So we do, because it's expensive to send someone out to prosecute. So if you're going to test these and you're going to prosecute, you got to go through the crime lab. I'm pretty sure, don't you, in the state of Iowa? It's going to be hard because you got to fly in someone that does that COA and takes that, and they got to be there to witness. You know? It's a lot of money. Plus, the matrices are crazy because you're all over the place because you're dealing with a synthetic. You're not dealing with the natural cannabinoid that's in the plant that I grow. I sell with Dr. Laura Reimner. She has a shop in 42nd Street, Whole Health Chiropractic. And my products falls under all regulations of the hemp Act. I don't do synthetics. I infuse. I take the plant and I put it in coconut oil. These laws are going to affect me. You know, I can never get a better quality product if the law changes and these are set in place already and we go Schedule 3 or whatever it is, then we're looking at the future of me just going, wow, Iowa's got my control, not the federal government, not the Hemp Act. You know, they may not be a farm bill. We don't know. As a CBD cannabidiol farmers, we all know how expensive testing can be. On September 15th, 2023, the board stated the molecular structure of the consumable hemp is similar to the medicals program. This was stated by Owen. I was there. I was in the meeting. I wasn't actually online. As medical the cannabidiol patient consumable hemp manufacturer, can agree to this. They are made a similar way. Kimman Industry is a consumable hemp manufacturer and produces hemp-derived medical cannabis, not marijuana. Marijuana is legal. Medical cannabis is termed CBD. Medical marijuana is the term we use in Iowa for Iowa's cannabidiol patients. The hemp-derived product aloe vera is a line of vapes, tinctures, capsules, creams produced under the consumable hemp manufacturing and retailer license they hold. This can be found on the site pages when you search hemp-derived products through Kinman. 5 medical dispensaries across Iowa that sells these hemp products from Kenman under the consumable hemp retail license and a medical cannabis license. So Bud and Mary's holds a consumable hemp license. Kenman holds a consumable hemp license to make hemp products that are medical marijuana. So we're not probably breaking any federal laws. I don't know why that suit is there. It seems the Department of Public Safety wants to eliminate all hemp, not just consumable. Any of these bills could affect the general public and the consumable hemp that manufactured for medical patients and the public. The language needs to be changed in this bill to better define consumable hemp, not just hemp, and not just the term cannabis. This will have repercussions in the long run. A negligent violation needs to be put back into place on these bills. They need to stay there. I spoke with Robin this morning, and she said that's supposed to be changed. I don't know if it has or not, but the negligent violation needs to be in there for growers like me. I grew a hot field. I know what it's like to go hot. I know what it's like to lose a lot of money because of it. Because of 1% maybe, it was going over, and I like it's got to be destroyed. We destroyed it. 700 plants that carry a pound a piece. That's a lot of cannabidiol CBD. Now remember, cannabidiol CBD is defined as the same thing, not just medical or recreational. It's defined as the same thing. And we just speaking over these seltzers and stuff. You guys in the last meeting in 665, these seltzers, it was brought up. A lot of these products aren't made in Iowa because the limitations in Iowa. I follow Iowa law. I mean, my guidelines. I got 10 tests, and out of 10 tests, there's almost 100 testers. Almost 100. One of those being solvents. Out of state COAs, you look at them, no solvent level test. How's that? That's in commerce, But this state doesn't require it. So we're going to open a company here, then we're going to have a distributor in Iowa, whatever you need to do it. That's their business. But as far as the natural growth, we don't use those structures. Farmers like Scott and I, we've been here since the beginning, man. We've been here. I switched to the hemp program from the medical side to get away from synthetics. Nothing wrong with the product. It's a great product. They've done great work for Iowa. Kenman is huge on this. They put so much money into it. This is affecting one of the biggest global leaders too, just in Iowa. So this law comes about, you go test one of their products, and it comes out, and then it's in the news and everything. It destroys people's companies. It does things like you got someone out here burning your field. You're on the news. Dr. Schreck stated things in the last cannabidiol meeting that, I'm hoping that this makes a competitive market, and then he gets online and he speaks of how bad this hemp products are and stuff. Whoa, wait a minute. The consumable hemp is what we are taking through these products, even the medical sides. It's all the same. It's the understanding of what you're regulating on THC Delta 9 isn't your problem. When you look at COAs, and you can read a COA, it tells you the difference in what natural is and what's not. This is a lot of this factor is a lot of it's through the allowances that allowing manufacturers to get a license in Iowa, one, not looking at their COAs, two. This isn't the repercussions of these farmers, but in here you state, and the law coming, this one here, the SB 1276, you're not defining just consumable hemp. You're defining hemp, cannabis, all through this. It doesn't make sense. It is like all over languages. It's about consumable hemp. What you guys ask for, make it about it. I'm all for age restrictions. I got 4 daughters, and I'm all for the age restrictions, but to keep them from consuming it is, your kid's gonna have a seizure tomorrow because now you can't do it. That's kind of wrong. You can't keep parents from getting it to kids because that consumption is needed for that. So that's all I got to say. I mean, I hope that with the new laws coming forward, that you guys do understand that, as Rick said, this is not a Schedule 1 drug, and the DCI and the crime lab doesn't test this stuff as I knew of last. In the end of the beginning of 2023, I don't know what changed, but you're asking to put more cost coming out of our pocket, tax dollars, to send this stuff out and prosecute someone. And it's just going to be a big circle when it can be controlled, a lot of it, by, let's manufacturer's product. They got this test. Look at those COAs. So it's that simple. It's that simple. My cannabinoids levels, I look at them every time I take a test. The tests are expensive. They're outrageous. I spend so much money just to produce my own product for myself. And then I, got it into commerce because Iowa State University studied my field because I don't spray pesticides. She was amazed by it. She came and would work on her master's on my field all year. That's how I ended up with my dietary supplement in primary care, is that we had mutual acquaintance, and Dr. Laura heard that I don't use pesticides or anything, and she sells dietary supplements, so she put it on her shelf. She's like, I'd like to have that. That product, I can also sell another product on the shelf with elderberry and alcohol. Alcohol allowances, that is ethanol, is explained on the test, are outrageous. I can take a tincture, an elderberry tincture, make it on my kitchen sink and put it in the commerce, no problem. But I cannot take alcohol and combine it for a tincture, which is legal. You can ask public safety if tinctures are regulated through alcohol. They're not. I can add that tincture to my cannabis product and naturally extract it. Yes, there's going to be some left because I'm going to drain it out and strain it out, but it's all fermented and everything. It all comes together. You heat it and it kills everything in it, and you're good to go. Most products on our shelf today that are Schedule 3 contain alcohol, but the hemp product, no. I can see not wanting to sell it in bars. I can see not wanting to put it in drinks that are served at bars. I can see that. I mean, that's common sense, through legislation. But I think that just looking at this stuff and realizing that there's a lot being asked, and there's a lot of cost behind that. And I check with the crime lab. Be like, you guys testing this yet? Because we're going to end up sending this to you to prosecute. I check with them first, because that's where the prosecution really begins at, is going to court and getting it dialed in and paying that money to do this. There's a lot of expense. That's all I got.
I gotta say, for administrative note, no offense, sir, right? But we are at 12:23 right now. We've gotten through 2 speakers. We'll make time for all the departments here in the end, but you guys are going to run over each other. It's a hard cutoff at 1 o'clock. So I just ask you all to be respectful to each other, because most people here are the pro or the against the bill. And we haven't any time for the senators here. And we had the room till 1 o'clock. So go ahead.
My wife and I are the owners and operators of Florida's Farm Hemp. Our farm number is 5158. In 2020, well, first of all, this is what I'm touching on is making sure the negligent violations program is set in place, because this is a farming state and I'm a farmer. There are many hemp farmers, but anyways, in 2020, we decided to grow hemp. We accepted all responsibilities necessary to meet state requirements. First was getting a cultivation license, which we did. In March of 2021, it became legal to manufacture consumable hemp products. We were more excited. We only obtained 2 different manufacturing licenses and 2 food licenses required by the state to manufacture. My wife has taken 5 different food and safety manufacturing courses that were not required, but were encouraged by the Department of Inspections. We put our lives on the line financially, physically, and mentally to create hemp products that are non-psychoactive. We grow a form of hemp that is lower in THC than CBD. We only have 2 products that have THC in them, and they are not intoxicating. Who's going to protect the farmers if the negligent violations program is done away with? On page 12, line 5 through 7 states that the NDP allows participating licensees to avoid criminal offense or civil violations for producing, possessing, using, harvesting, handling, or distributing the plant cannabis. Also, on page 4, lines 2 through 6, it states a rebuttable presumption exists that a raw or dried flower form of hemp product is a consumable hemp product intended for introduction to the body of human by method inhalation. So you're saying that any dried hemp flower is now considered inhalable. So as a manufacturer, as a farmer, we can't obtain and hold our hemp flower to turn into our non-psychoactive products. Who's here to protect us? Who's here to protect the farmers? I understand that there is a reason we're here, but the reason we're here is not because of the farmers, okay? What about corn soybean farmers? Who put it on the line every year, just like the hemp farmers? Are you gonna tell them that their corn and their silos is now legal because they can be turned into whiskey or ethanol? Because those are 2 highly, highly regulated commodities, right? Well, what would they do? Maybe they would react like the farmers in Europe and spray manure all over legislative spaces. I did not bring my manure spreader today, because if this goes through and the farmers get overlooked, there's enough crap in this bill to bury Iowa hemp farmers forever.
Apologize for taking it.
A lot of people don't like standing up. People like to
of what it's for. 0.3 has been federally accepted and accepted by a vast majority of the states, and that's what we operate under right now. And so by restricting us even more, you're taking more of the liberties away from Iowans. I think the other piece in there would be you'll find it on section 14, 1 and 2, and it says a person shall not distribute communal hemp to somebody under 21 years old. And the only thing that I have a problem with this is that it is also overly vague. Is this THC products, CBD products, full spectrum products, broad spectrum products? You know, there's a vast array of things that can be in there, and including the minor cannabinoids. I think that we agree that intoxicating levels should not be applied to children. DPS put out a memo that stated 31 children called poison control, 31 people under the age of 21 in 2022. This goes hand in hand. There was 1,300 that consumed cosmetic items. There was over 1,000 that consumed dietary supplements and had to call poison control. So that number, I hope that it would be 0, but that number is not extravagant. And then when we look on the Americans Poison Control Center, 0 Iowans reached out due to minor cannabinoids, and 0 Iowans reached out due to CBD, not THC, but CBD. So if we remove the ability for parents to be able to use that as an option for their children, stated in NIH, Mayo Clinic, Harvard Health, they have shown that it helps with mental health. It helps with anxiety, it helps with sleep, it helps with neuroplasticity, it helps with neurogenesis. And CBD also causes, according to NIH, they did a study, it caused no dopamine release. So therefore it has the lowest ability for abuse, it has the lowest ability for dependency. I think that this bill is overly vague. Please consider making some amendments.
My name's Corey Hatfill. I'm one of the owners of Central Iowa Vapors and Global Source Distribution, which is a wholesale to business to business, and we distribute all over the nation to other retailers. I think as a lot of people have stated, I'm not going to hit on the farm stuff because these guys are specialists in what they're doing and they know it a lot better. But I feel bad for what they're facing. But from the distribution side, it's been a battle to try and figure out what's regulated, what's not, to what's state approved. And then when we feel like it's not state approved, and then we got our competitors saying, well, yeah, it's state approved and they're allowed to sell it. We do our research. We try and make sure that our products that we bring in from other manufacturers have everything that needs to be, the COAs, the licensure by the manufacturers. And there's a lot of products that are brought in that either, manufacturer's not licensed or the product doesn't fit what currently is even within the hemp bill or the Iowa hemp bill. And we've been trying to work with HHS and DPS and trying to get some clarity on this for probably 3 or 4 years since this all kind of started to come about. And there's been a lot of ambiguity. There's not been a lot of well communicated or documented, okay, these products are all allowed, because we're trying to figure out what we can distribute to other retailers in the state. So we've built some relationships, but it's been difficult. So there's a lot of easy fixes to that, and I'd love to sit at the table, with DPS and some of the legislators to work through this. It's going to affect my business, tremendously. I've got 80 employees now, with 17 retail locations and large distribution side of the business. So, the high potency drinks, we're all for that, as long as it's, based on a per serving level. And I don't think anybody wants the super high potency stuff, whether it's a vapable form of the THC, which a lot of those are not even allowed in by the state or approved unless they've got the medical card. So, there's a lot of ways to work with the current bill the way that it is, because it already has a lot of the substance, and everybody's for 21 and over. It shouldn't be sold to kids, unless they've got a medical card, medical reason, which other people have stated. So I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. But I want to protect my jobs and my staff and make sure that they're not going to get in trouble. Because we just got one of our stores, they came in last Friday and said, these papers, you can't sell those. And they gave us a fine, or is it just a notice? A what? Warning. And it's like papers. Yeah, it's like, why would we be pinpointed for something like that? So a lot of things.
Tony Phillips with the Iowa State Sheriff's Deputies Association. We're undecided on the bill, but appreciate you taking on the issue. I mean, just the anecdotal, feedback we get from our members is we know we have a problem here. And we kind of landed in a kind of a nonsensical, unenforceable situation for folks on the street. And so, we appreciate you trying to get something together that tackles this issue. As I'm listening to the comments, one, I think Senator Dawson, you highlighted well, someone who's been here for these policy considerations. There's a real lack of intentionality of how we got here. This is not what people intended when the legislation was passed. I think probably true for everyone in the room. But also listen to some of the comments before me. For the folks that are trying to do this the right way, some enforceability is also useful for you, because those products that are coming out of state, you're trying to do things the right way. Without proper enforcement, you're always going to have one arm tied behind your back. So, just thank you for trying to take this on. Hopefully we can get something good done this session.
I have a 12:45, that's why I skipped some people. But Haley Hook, Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship, we're just monitoring the bill. But I did want to add that we have been working with DPS on the negligent violators piece. So that's just something I wanted to address with the questions that people had brought up before. So.
Hi, my name is Heather Glenn, and I am Beyond CBD and Route 69 Vapor. I'm here today to tell you that we know there's bad actors, but there's also people that are fighting to do the right thing and a seat at the table to be able to help continue to do the right thing. Before there was an age restriction, we self-regulated before our lights ever got turned on. My husband and I chose to make sure that no one under the age of 21. We understand parents and what some of those needs are. It's time to have some conversations. I don't believe the bill is written well, but I believe it has, it's a start, and I believe that we can make some changes. I use CBD products. I need to be able to sleep. My mind doesn't always shut off the way it's supposed to. So it's helpful. And we have an opportunity. Let's come together and allow some people at the table to have some really good conversations. We have licenses. We don't have any penalties. We haven't been fined. We're following the rules. Please hear us.
Jason Glenn. So I won't repeat a lot of this, but we want to be here. Sorry. So I have cerebral palsy. Sorry. So CBD and THC products have allowed me to almost entirely, not completely, but nearly entirely give up prescription pain meds, you know, it's helped my life for decades. So I believe so much in it that we started a business to spread the word, spread the help, spread the message. So this bill will kill that. So we want to be here. We want to be part of the conversation. I have kids. I think most of us probably do. I don't want my minor kids taking it. They don't take it, you know? But I think that we serve an important part, you know, in our community. Not everybody needs to have a medical card in order to get help from these types of products. You know, I think that the stores that I own and others like me own, we have a place, you know, so we just want to be part of the regulation. We want to have a say in that. I don't think, unfortunately, most likely, I'm guessing everybody in this room feels the same way. So the people that you're having trouble with, you don't get to talk to. And that's a problem. So, you know, let's be honest, HHS, DPS, when it was Health and Human Services, they were extremely overstretched. You know, you have, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,500 registered retailers. And you have a small team of people that are trying to manage and regulate that. It's gotta be hard. It's gotta be darn near impossible, I would imagine. So we just want to be part of that discussion and make it something that everybody can benefit from. There's no reason to kill it. It's just, let's make it better.
Thank you, Jason. My name is Corey Coleman. I have 4 hemp registrations in Iowa, 2 of which are manufacturing, 2 of which are retail and distribution. My businesses will be greatly affected by these provisions, along with more than 1,000 other businesses and farmers alike. I understand there's bad actors exist, and they do in all industries, and we don't support those businesses as they hurt us all. I understand DPS concerns and understand the enforcement has to be extremely difficult at this point, but I believe this bill does not offer solutions, but rather a death blow to Iowa's hemp industry when all we need is some common sense checkpoints and balances. We share concerns about THC products and how they are currently being packaged without childproof or resistant packaging and containing THC. Any of our products that contain THC have childproof resistance. We also have concerns with some of the packaging which resembles brands that contain THC and shapes that are familiar and marketed to children, like gummy bears, gummy worms, and rings. I believe a simple solution is to allow only puck, square, or rectangular shaped gummies. The implications of putting verbiage in place about dried flower that states this bill creates a reputable presumption that a raw or dried flower of a hemp product is a consumable hemp product intended for inhalation. This is untrue and false in nature and has some serious implications that would single-handedly dismantle the Iowa hemp farming, either industrial farming or cannabinoid farming, without the farmer enduring additional costs and expenses while risking the contamination, which is completely unnecessary if they just did it on their own farm. At a young age, I was diagnosed with a severe case of Crohn's disease. I started looking into using forms of cannabis to relieve my symptoms. Eventually, I was off all pharmaceutical drugs and have been Crohn's free for the last 28 years. We already put age limits on our packaging and think Iowa should adopt the same. However, we would like to see an exception which would allow parents to administer THC-free products to their children. Having a child that passed of cancer on her 4th birthday, I can't imagine being fined for issuing our products or administering our products to our daughter, which gave her quality of life she would have never had. She played all the way up to the day she passed. When she was taking pharmaceuticals every day without cannabis, she didn't leave her bed for 3 months. When she started taking CBD-based products with some THC, that little girl played until she died. We don't believe alcohol and cannabis should be mixed, and we understand there's some bad actors out there, but do not put all of us in that same boat. Thank you for your time.
Angela Kalk here, contract lobbyist for Hemp C, which is a coalition of hemp distributors, farmers, retailers. I just kind of want to say that we really do, like the good actors in the space, want to be part of this conversation. We want to help take some of the burden off of DPS. We understand that this has to be a nightmare to try to regulate. We want to come in, we want to help set those regulations. We're open to talks of potency per serving. We're open to talks of potency per package. We are open to talks of age restrictions. As you can see, everyone that spoke so far, and I assume the rest, are very much in favor of that. We understand, and we even know ourselves who some of the bad actors are. We figured it out. We would like to see them not be in this market. They don't, and we know that they are taunting the state with things like billboards after they flagrantly violate the law. We are not in favor of those businesses. We are not in favor of those actors, and we want the industry clean and functioning well, just as you all do. Thank you.
My name is Patrick Loeffler, and I'll keep it really short. The reason I'm here is my wife owns a shop in Cedar Rapids. I stopped smoking cannabis 16 years ago. That's when my world turned upside down. I found out I had epilepsy by stopping smoking cannabis. I'd be sitting in a meeting right here, I'd have a seizure, it'd stop my heart. It's like I passed out. Seconds later, my heart would start again. I'm one of the first 5 people to ever have a medical card in this state, but I could not even get the CBD oils without THC in this state. Not anywhere. You guys forced me to go to Colorado to find oils. I found CBD oils out there. We sell oils, broad spectrum oils in our shop have no THC in them. You should hear the stories of people coming back in and tell us how we helped change their lives, their parents, dogs, kids. It's incredible the stories that you hear from these people. They pour their hearts out to the retail owners, the shop owners in here. We're like therapists. We're not out there. All of our products are behind the counter, not able to be touched by it's an education process for these people. I'd say the age 60 is our average client. Comes in, wants that education. They lived in the 60s and 70s. They smoke cannabis. They don't want to get high, but some people need that little bit THC. I was forced to use illegal products until I found this gentleman's product. Legal in the state of Iowa. I am not forced to be illegal anymore. I use our CBD oil. I use 1,000 milligram broad spectrum oil. It's saved my life. My grandson lived in Texas. 9 months old, he started cutting teeth. I'm assuming it's the pain in his head that started causing his seizures. He was having 4 or 5 minute seizures where his entire body was turning blue. 3 different times they rushed him to the hospital. One time the ambulance met him halfway, took over life-saving skills. We moved him up here from Texas, started out on a 500 milligram oil with 0 THC. He is out of 10 months, he's been living in the state of Iowa. He is now 9 months seizure-free. That is why everybody in this shop or in this area is fighting for this. We want to be the good players. I wholeheartedly believe in the age 21, keeping the products behind the counter so it's controlled. This is truly a medication for people. They put a loop monitor in my heart. I went back a week later and they interrogated that. Over 4,000 times, my heart dropped in the low 30s or less. 11 times in 1 week it stopped. That was on a Friday. That next Monday, I had an 18-second stop. This is the result on Tuesday at a pacemaker. So if I miss my night dose, my morning dose, I'm having a grand mal seizure. But I'm off 2 heart meds, 2 diabetes meds, 5 different seizure meds I went through. One was killing me with 10 to 15 different side effects. I'm driving 8 years seizure-free in the state of Iowa.
My name is Kim Loeffler. I have the pleasure of being his wonderful wife. My husband was blessed with epilepsy, and I say that because him being blessed with epilepsy, we have been able to help so many others. When he was in the hospital, up at the Mayo Clinic, we've been out to Colorado, all over, trying to find something for him. His neurologist was the one that turned us on to the CBD aspect of this. We saw children in the hospital in fetal positions. They were on the same dose of medication that once they got off that medication, we're riding using CBD. These kids are walking, talking. They're still having seizures. It hasn't cured things, but they have a better quality of life. Like my husband said, along with Sally Gear, we were instrumental in forming some of the CBD laws. We were in there when the hemp laws were signed. I even have a pen from the governor when they signed the hemp laws. Again, yes, we thought we were, the gentleman who said we were making rope and all that stuff, yes, we were all on board. But more than that, it's not about making millions of dollars. It's about helping millions of people. I'm a retired nurse. I work closely with the medical community. I work closely with DHS. Matter of fact, we just had a baby delivered a few weeks ago. We're seeing more and more women using products off the market to deal with their pregnancies, with their sickness and stuff. They're coming, these babies are testing positive for THC. These women are testing positive for THC. Are they high or stoned at the time? No, they're testing positive. Just because you test positive for THC does not mean you're high or stoned. The levels, yes, there is regulation. I think this oversteps the bounds of everything that we are working for. I agree with a lot of what is said in here. Yes, regulation, obviously. But to penalize people, to make them criminals, farmers trying to dry their product now are going to be considered. We sell natural herbs. We sell wellness things. All dry herbs in our thing, in our wellness center. People make tinctures, teas, lotions, salves, and creams. When we sell our herbs, if they want to go out and smoke them, I can't deny them from if they want to go smoke rosemary or if they want to go inhale calendula or mullein or anything like that. What we sell in our store is a lot of dry herbs, whether it be a CBD product or something like that. Scott, we carry his product. Wonderful product. People are making lotions, salves, creams for their own use out of this. Like my husband said, he had a medical card, one of the first medical program. How high is a medical program with the THC in there? How are you going to regulate that? People are going in 21 or older. You don't know if they're going out in the streets and selling it out there. We are surrounded by states that are legal. You can't tell me that people aren't going out there and buying it and bringing it back here and selling it. When you can, it's a door knock away publicly. Anybody can get it from somebody somewhere. But yet you want to restrict what we're trying to control and do legally and follow the guidelines. We want to be a part of making these rules behind science, behind the endocannabinoid system, really understanding that. I'm assuming, and this would be my assumption, how far have any of you really dove into science behind the basis of a plant? Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Time for one more here. Departments, we'll talk. And whoever's gonna be the last one over here.
Owned beverage company that is producing THC and CBD beverages. I believe that even once the department does rules that what Climbing Kites is producing now will still be remain legal, because I know they've had a lot of conversations with the department. They have self-imposed a lot of what you're trying to do with this bill already, making sure you're only selling to 21 and above, not doing really high potency beverages. And so we're fine with the bill. We actually are probably more supportive of it than we are undecided, but are registered undecided, just because we don't know fully what the rules will be. But we appreciate you bringing this bill forward because we do think it's important. And I could bring my guys in. They know much more about potency than I do by a lot. So if any of you senators would like to meet with them, we'd be happy to come in. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else who has comments, feel free to email it here to the subcommittee wise. I apologize to everyone online, but I knew this would be a longer subcommittee, and it certainly was. So, Senator Zaun, any closing comments?
Well, first of all, I appreciate everybody being here and all the comments. What I have observed by basically the testimony that's going on is there's a lot of vagueness in the law. And I'm sorry that that happened. Last thing I want to do is hurt business owners or farmers. A lot of the things, the testimony that's been done today really has nothing to do with this law, other than because it's vague. I mean, the way it's been written, and that's what we're trying to fix here. As someone that ran the medical cannabis bill and is a believer in the benefits of that, which was a couple of years ago, I know there's different degree of opinions on that, but I have seen, and I did a lot of research. I have definitely seen benefits to that. I feel terrible about your story there, but that was exactly what we were trying to accomplish with the medical cannabis law that we passed, is to help people and recognizing that there is some medical benefits. Honestly, I understand the argument about the pharmaceutical industry. They're going to shove pills down you till the shelf forever. No disrespect, they have some good products as well. But that isn't what motivates me. What does motivate me is when I went to the Department of Public Safety building, because I wanted to check into this as well. And they showed me some of the products that are sold here in the state of Iowa. What motivates me is that all the hospitals that have reached out to me, in particular the people that are in the emergency rooms on these overdoses of kids. I don't think there's anybody, I think I heard everybody say they want to do above 21. When we voted for the hemp bill in 2019, I really thought it was an agriculture bill. I studied it. I certainly thought that there was benefits for it, like Senator Dawson said, what the intention of the law was, and it looks like that because it's vague, there's loopholes that have been created, and that's what we're trying to fix here. I will sign the bill today because I think we need to keep this conversation going. But I just really trying to protect the kids, and what I saw in regards to what's being sold, and I'm not saying anybody in this room sells that, I assume nobody does, was very disturbing. And they look just like candy that you'd get in a store, and that's what we're trying to fix here. And so I'm planning on signing on. Thank you.
I agree with almost everything that Senator Zaun said. I think I'm going to sign on as well. Senator Dawson has said there will be some amendments, I think, to help to clean up and protect some of the farmers' concerns that we have right now. I want the conversation to continue. I also do understand and believe in the medical benefits of products out there right now. So thank you, and keep that up. We want to eliminate bad actors. We want to make sure that we clean up the retail piece, and we want to make sure that we're also protecting farmers and business owners while we do this. So thank you. I know there will be more conversation around this bill. We need to make sure everybody's at the table when we have these conversations so that we continue to do the right thing for Iowans and for people. So thank you.
Okay, a couple administrative things. There is going to be an amendment. I think Idol's here now related to the farmers wise. This bill's directed primarily at the retailers and the sellers, right? So when we're going to try to clean those things up as best we can here. There's been some feedback on rebuttable presumption. I think we're going to find a different way to work about that, and that conversation will continue. I do got to say this though. There's been a lot of testimony here today. I know people have a variety of opinions, right? And just to clear this up for everyone, this bill, I'll start with the title, an act providing for the regulation of hemp and hemp products, providing penalties as applicable. This is a hemp bill. This is not the medical marijuana program bill, and touches nothing with that here in Iowa whatsoever. So let's just clear that up right now. The medical marijuana program provided here in Iowa offers a much higher THC potency that we changed in law back in 2020, I believe, from when we initially passed it. And for those needing medical grade treatments, that is that program. Nothing in this bill has to do with that whatsoever. Now, if we're going to talk about medical here briefly, I just want to go back to we talked about a variety of studies, but let's go to the FDA website, which I just pulled up here over the weekend. To date, the FDA has not approved for marketing applicable for cannabis for treatment of any disease or condition, thus not determined that cannabis is safe, effective for any particular disease or condition. The FDA has approved 3 products, which is what the medical marijuana program tries to allow here in the state of Iowa. The FDA has approved Epidiolex for seizures, Marinol and Syndrose, also for seizures and associated with a variety of other things I'm not going to go through here, right? What we are talking about is hemp here today, and one of the cannabinoids of the plant is CBD, which is how some of this gets interacted and everything, right? The hemp law in the U.S. Farm Bill in 2018, what we passed here in 19, set a potency rate of 0.3%, period, right? If someone has a condition or if someone has a child that needs some of these treatments, then it was brought up multiple times. That is the medical marijuana program. That is where we divert people to. But to say that going to a store shop is effectively the same thing as going to, a serious condition like seizures, epilepsy, or things like that, which we're trying to address here in state, that's mixing the things in two. Blank's Children's Hospital couldn't be here today, but they attended the House Subcommittee last week, and they had some comments there. They were very concerned about some testimony in the House Committee. The representative Blank's Children's Hospital here said, I would like to push back on the information shared at the House Subcommittee that pediatricians are recommending consumable hemp to their patients as an alternative to the medical cannabinoid program here in Iowa. That is not accurate. So I understand how people might want to divert their kids to that, but let's be very honest here. We created a program here a few years ago that was outside of the scope of what the FDA has approved because we're trying to provide treatments. We try to massage those and provide more conditions and provide a higher THC level back then. But somehow, one way or the other, we've diverted this thing to CBD shops are the equivalent, and CBD is another cannabinoid that actually does have medical value. No one in the subcommittee will deny that whatsoever. But now we just went clear down this other path here. We're going to do gummies, we're going to do seltzers and all these other things. And we have to talk about THC potency levels, which was never what was intended to begin with. And the best thing for the system is to actually regulate it and get it back on track so people who do need these things can actually have faith in what they're buying at the stores. But the reality is right now, some of these stores, I mean, here's the reality on the street. Some of these stores, they'll have their face up front of what they're selling, and then some of their better customers will know what to get out back, and they're selling basically pot products out the back. And Human Services doesn't have the regulatory ability right now to get back in there and do those inspections because of the vagueness of our hemp law, nor does DPS have enforcement ability. So if people want a vibrant hemp program here in Iowa, probably the best thing to do is figure out how to support these departments as opposed to how to tearing them down, because that's the only thing that's going to get these programs back on track here. I've said enough. It needs to be said. It's just frustrating to see how these things are all diluted and how they're interchanged. This bill has nothing to do about what some of the things were said in some of the emails we've got here. What we're trying to do is make sure we get this law back to where it was. And if we have a larger discussion with the federal government on anything else of what medical marijuana and what recreational should be, so be it. I'm skeptical on that. The federal government can't even get a damn budget passed here recently, so I don't think they'll be able to delve into this program whatsoever. But the reality is the state's going to do the best that we can. Iowa's not going to be Colorado. Iowa's not going to be Illinois. Iowa's going to operate its own program. We're going to work with all the participants and find something tailor-made to our state here, and we will go from there. So with that being said, I know there's a lot to be said. If anyone does have comments, I do apologize for people online, but feel free to send those in as well. We'll conclude subcommittee. Thank you.